Hey, I'm about 10 miles north of Hollis. We've had a couple quick funnels, no touchdown, but they lifted back in. She's still spinning pretty good on this eastern side of the cell. Yeah, I just crossed over. I realized.
On the edge here, caught up in the outside rim, and then triggering that storm activity, a little bit of interference. There's no real actual energy there, even as we go to the satellite. Then we go to the storm system, right there over the Four Corners of New Mexico, counterclockwise rotation, with an embedded strong cold front, which is going to knock our highs into the mid-60s tomorrow. What's the first of several ingredients that's going to lead to a warming pattern over the next several days? First of all, high pressure off to the west of us, as well as the east. Now, if you notice, see, this is what we call steering flow, and it just kind of basically comes in here in the higher elevations, bring stuff towards us usually where storms and complex systems can carry about 46 in Dumas. So not bad. Winds 10 to 15, few gusts up to 20 out there. That's from a surface low that developed in eastern New Mexico, southeast Colorado. I'm going to show you that in a second. But that's all it's going to do. Ramp up the winds overnight. We still have to factor in those winds, though. When you do that, it feels like 44 here. Wind chill of 39 in Tulia, 45 in Guyman, even 48 in Tucumcari. Chilly night if you're headed out to have some fun. It already feels like 31. It's actually 38. Humidity's gone up to 52. Winds out of the southeast. A little bit of moisture return, but not a lot. Dew point still at 22. Pressure still climbing, 30.20 now. Now, this morning, we were talking about freezing, and, well, sure enough, down in Dalhart, you got to 22 degrees now, moving up the eastern seaboard. And that's an issue because instead of 12 hours of normal rain, you wind up with 2 or 3 days where you have to get from really the south all the way to the north into this wraparound, and it rains.
And now, News Channel 10's Storm Track Forecast with meteorologist Kris Nation.
It looks like we're going to have a relatively warm, kind of calm week.
It is, yeah.
But definitely not the case in all parts of the country.
Exactly. I mean, it seems like we have one side of the coin and the East Coast has the other side. Where we're perfect, they're getting hammered out there. And in fact, Sandy's picking up speed. We're going to get to that show you in a second. Let's start off locally, though. Radar scope's completely clear out there. We go into motion, still nothing there. And in fact, you can go ahead and let those umbrellas collect the dust in the closet for about 4 or 5 days. It's going to be dry. But you know what? It's going to warm up a couple degrees every day. We go to the satellite, just some mid to high level clouds. And even as they work their way out of Colorado, Kansas, and up towards Nebraska, they're entering a dry environment. And look what happens. Even they get dissipated out. But you know what? You want to see a storm? Well, we don't have to go too far away. Not really that far at all. Across to the east, we take a look at Sandy. What are the current readings? 75-mile-an-hour sustained winds. Already seeing gusts of 92 miles an hour. We'll put it into motion for you. And this thing is picking up speed. In the last couple of hours, they're probably already going to have to move the projections for landfall to tomorrow night. Now, everybody's talking about Tuesday morning, but watch. The latest data's in with the hurricane hunters. Watch at the speed now. These are 12-hour blocks here. Now, by 7 p.m. tomorrow night, it will be very close to making landfall. This thing is not going to hold on till Tuesday. It's going to hit somewhere between Boston, Massachusetts, and New York with a 3 to 6 foot storm surge, and winds, well, 70 miles an hour, as we're seeing now 75, gusts near 90 at the core, right off the edge of the eye wall. We're going to have to keep a very close eye on this. If it goes right into Manhattan, they could have a very serious problem. Now, we take a live look back here. We're seeing the other side of that coin, as we mentioned a moment ago. Perfect weather. We're at 49, feels like 44. Winds the only real drawback out of the southeast at 14, but they're helping. Dew points now up to 24. Humidity 37%. Barometric pressure 30.12, but actually starting to fall as we're getting a surface low in development. Temps across the region out there. We're at 49 here in Amarillo. If you're down in Portales, you're at 50, 49 in Tucumcari, about 46 in Dumas. So not bad. Winds 10 to 15, few gusts up to 20 out there. That's from a surface low that developed in eastern New Mexico, southeast Colorado. I'm going to show you that in a second. But that's all it's going to do. Ramp up the winds overnight. We still have to factor in those winds, though. When you do that, it feels like 44 here. Wind chill of 39 in Tulia, 45 in Guyman, even 48 in Tucumcari. So let's go ahead and pull back out, start tracking down the cold front. Every time we look at this map, it's been entrenched with blue. But notice it's really starting to let up. And that's kind of a telltale sign of what is to come. Now, we're at about 49 here, 56 in San Antonio, 43 in Oklahoma. But even up in Bismarck, they're not at freezing on the Canadian border. So it's a good sign of what's to come. What's the first of several ingredients that's going to lead to a warming pattern over the next several days? First of all, high pressure off to the west of us as well as the east. Now, if you notice, see, this is what we call steering flow, and it just kind of basically comes in here in the higher elevations, brings stuff towards us usually where storms and complex systems, but this time actually acting in our favor to deflect them away up towards the Canadian-U.S. border, as well as the cold fronts that would go with those storm systems. So they'd mentioned we have a very tiny little low in play that's kind of right in there in eastern New Mexico. So let's bring it up and show you what I'm talking about. We have the steering flow in play, but on the surface we have winds out of the southwest. That's downslope, and that's going to be a key component because what it does is lets us warm up. Now they're dry, and we could be talking about a little bit of fire danger. Thankfully, the winds look light throughout your entire week, so it's great. going to climb about 3 degrees every single day. Just to be sure, though, let's kind of break it down and see what's causing these factors other than me just kind of explaining it. We'll show it to you in an animation. High pressure slides through the area. That's going to take 4 or 5 days. It's very slow moving. We can see all the movement around it clockwise in the higher elevations. But as we get to Thursday and Friday, it'll slip out of the area. Cold front will develop up to the northwest of us. It'll push in late Friday night, and there'll be moisture out of the southwest. Just as we saw the winds now, that'll give us dry air and warmer days. They'll help bring in some tropical moisture towards the weekend. So you need to have your umbrella ready by then. You shouldn't need it throughout most of the week. Just to be sure I'm on target, though, we go to the micro track, we put it into motion. It's in 100% agreement with me. Shows not only no storms, it's not even showing any cloud cover in the next 36 hours. So we move on. Tonight, overnight low is 34. Mostly clear, chilly night. But good news is not to the freezing point. We won't actually get to 32. Wind southwest 10 to 15. Across the region, we're going to be in the 30s. Going to be close in a couple of spots. Places like Guyman, you're going to go to 33. Dalhart, you'll probably get to 32 at freezing. Tomorrow, warmer than today. We got to 64. We'll get to 69 tomorrow. Sunny skies all day long thanks to high pressure and steering flow. Across the area, upper 60s to the low 70s. Quick check of the next 7 days. Halloween looks absolutely perfect. A high of 74 degrees, very light winds, not a cloud in the sky. Anything you want to do, you should be able to do it. But by Friday, you need to have everything pretty much wrapped up. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies all day Saturday. I'll go 20% shot at storms now. Looks kind of like a rainy, cooler day, like fall weather. So.
Lovely Halloween, maybe a little bit, I guess, of some stuff happening during the weekend. Not near as much stuff as we see happening on the East Coast.
Exactly. And that storm system is so complex. The fact it's picked up speed does concern me. If Manhattan takes a direct strike, it could be a big deal.
Hey, I'm about 10 miles north of Hollis. We've had a couple quick funnels, no touchdown, but they lifted back in. She's still spinning pretty good on this eastern side of the cell. Yeah, I just crossed over. I realized that.